Hello, I'm Miniature Al, and today I bring you another video. Today we are doing the Knights of Camelot again. This time I'm slowly improving it and adding to the lore. So far my lore is stating that... Why is that not working? I keep talking weird. So far my lore is a bit of a mix of Bloodborne, Arthurian myth, or folktales, and Astartes. That's kind of the whole kit and caboodle. So if you like this video, please consider liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell so you never miss another video about the Knights of Camelot. And let's get into it. Starting this kit batch, I grab my hands on the new free guide Gallants, Knights, and a squad of Black Templar Crusaders. Now, in this video, I am only building the Astartes, so I do apologize if you wanted to see me do some aspirants. I have ideas for the aspirants, but they will have to come in a later video. So, with this goal, I'm basically building the kit relatively to standard build. Only thing I'm doing different, really, is removing any Black Templar iconography. So anything that's like massively Black Templar is removed. Otherwise, the armor, the tabard, all that stays. And it gets modified from there. Now, here you see me taking one of the Gallants helmets. Specifically the Biggie helm. I can never remember the name of its actual name. I believe it is Western Europe. That is this helmet specifically, but I want this guy to be my sergeant because I like the helmet the most. And to try and convey that a bit better, I use the Black Templar, I believe, champion sword. I'll use his sword but remove the crossguard, as I want this to be a bit more basic. And then make it this nice running pose, position the head the way I want it. And surprisingly, the Gallants helmets look like they would fit in the Astartes head in it. So I cannot complain too much about it. I do some modifications to the backpack to make it a bit more bland. But still keeping those studs around the base so it looks nice. And that's pretty much this model done. I do use the Black Templar, the like fanned pauldrons. I do shave away the Templar logo and that using clippers and a mix of sanding sticks and all that. But I do cut in some battle damage to this specific shoulder pad because I wished to have some battle damage. Like, he's used this shoulder pad to take some blows in the past. It conveys some story to this model, and it helps with the aesthetic that I'm going for, as this is an Arthurian-based army that has also got tidbits of Bloodborne, because I like the idea of Bloodborne. It also fits with the aesthetic pretty well, and you can't tell me that it's not a cool idea to have a Bloodborne medieval knight army. Grimdark, gory, fits in pretty well. And I like the idea of these knights are located quite close to the Eye of Terror and take on not hugely frequent, but frequent enough incursions of chaos forces. More so chaos spawn. So it could be Nurgle, Tzeentch, Zalanesh, Khorne, any of them. So it makes this more likely and actually makes sense lore-wise for the Astartes. They've grown up in a world where you live in walled-off cities, and beyond the walls are the monsters of the warp. So you, as an Astartes, is to cleanse this world of the treacher of heresy. And the idea that works so well in my mind. And then you add the knightly aesthetic to it, it just sounds even better to me. And then I wanted to add a code where you still keep your inside the walls family matters. That is your number one goal. But outside the wall, you are nothing more than a soldier to cleanse the world. Kill the monster, burn the mutant. And then when you get back from shift or back from deployment, you go meet up with your family. You probably have more kids with your missus or husband or whatever, because my Astartes do allow female Space Marines due to a mutation of their gene seed. The mutation being that they have become non-sterile. So yes, they do be having children. But the only downside of that is that the package, the organs involved in that situation stay human-sized. So there is no arm-length appendages. And yes, I am censoring this, even though I want to be more graphic about this, but I have to censor it because YouTube would demonetize me out of orbit if I didn't. So yes, and would probably strike my video. So I would rather not. I would rather avoid that. Now, with that gives me the ability to have very rare but possible female Astartes that are called bio-Astartes, I'm calling them. But also the majority of it is male. But with a downside, every 4 generations, the gene seed has deteriorated too much to make bio-Astartes. So on the 5th generation, the 5th generation's children must get gene seed. And then restart the process again. That's my way around it. That's how I work it. And my idea is every generation you get slight different attributes. Like say, your head is smaller than a standard Astartes, or your hands are not as large, or you're not as tall. And I like that little idea because it adds a bit more variation, a bit more difference in the armor, and it helps go with 11th edition because they're doing mixed and match gear. So I assume there's going to be some mix and match and height in the Astartes. Hopefully. If there isn't, that's perfectly fine. I can work that in anyway. But it does allow me to do something I really want to do, and I've been wanting to do for a while. Arthurian myth and stories have, to my knowledge, a few little wizards and witches. Also, Morgoth, Pendragon, Arthur's half-sister, that is called the Enchantress, which is a possible idea for a librarian. But more famously, they have Merlin. I want to get the new 2026 Armageddon release chief librarian to make a Merlin out of. And if I do that, I want to do some LEDs with him. I want to make his eyes glow. How I'm going to do that, I have no idea. Will I figure it out? Eventually. But then I want to do a lexicon, or a librarian in training, I believe. I can never remember how to pronounce it. And I want it to be Ilau, or Ilau? I forgot how I pronounced it. Hold up, let me find a document. Documentation. Always lovely to have. Iloan, the witch. The daughter of Merlin. Now, the idea that gives me the female librarians, which then goes in the course of the Enchantress, allowing that, and Merlin. But also the idea of Merlin having a daughter just adds to his story. And adds a bit of mixture in it. So he's trying to teach his daughter to be as strong as him, but also be a father in this god-awful world. And I like that idea story in it. How I'd execute that, I have no idea. But I will find a way. Now, you notice in the background I've been making these models. All of them have power swords. Technically they shouldn't. Worst case scenario, I run them as chain swords. And these will just be assault intercessors. Which can deal with happily, fine. Gives me something. But yeah. This is the kind of lore I like, because I like to build this, and then also the fact that I've always wanted to do an Arthurian Arthurian or Arthurian. I think it's Arthurian. Whatever. But a medieval style army that's based on the story of King Arthur and the Sword and the Stone. How I will go about making a King Arthur, I have no idea at the moment. Still early stages. I've had some people throw me some ideas, so there's definitely suggestions out there. Will I get to them? Eventually. But with that, I believe that's pretty much all the models done, I think. Oh, right. I do come back from the models and shave off the chests, the Aquillas, because I like the idea of these models not being ceramite. There is a very big reason for that. The world of Camelot, located very close to the warp, is rich in in the materials to make adamantium. So, realistically, by resource richness, adamantium is a preferable option for armor because it's easier to maintain and easier to get your hands on. So easy, in fact, that the Guardsmen of the world use it, and I will be doing a Guardsmen squad, I believe this week or next week. I think it's this week I'm going to do it. Because I'm going to use these 3 gallons that I use the head from to make Guardsmen. Or probably a Guardsmen command squad or something like that. For my Knights of Camelot, will they be the same army? Probably not, but it's an option there. And so, if you can't tell, yes, I'm very excited at this idea. And I am building lore as it goes. But I just love the idea of, like, you've taken basically Bloodborne, taken it away from this London-esque feel to it, or like a little grim, darkish London. That's how I've always perceived it as, like an old London. I'm pretty sure it says that, actually. No, I can't remember. But yeah, take that from there and put it into medieval times. Proper medieval times. Army Painter, matte black. Plate mail metal. I use this for a dark silver to go over the entire models. But yeah, that's kind of the idea. That's where I'm going to go with it. Also, I do apologize if like the camera keeps going in and out of focus. I am terrible at keeping the models in the center. That's on me, though. Also, you will notice that some of these models have chainmail now. I don't show me using green stuff. Army Painter Dark Tone. I hardly ever show me using green stuff because, one, it is so easy to mess up on camera and it's really tricky to work with in camera. But basically, I've taken a texture plate from Green Stuff Worlds called Chainmail. I believe it was a 6mm. Was it 6mm? Well, 0.6mm, I think it was. What if I can find it? .1mm, that's it. No, 0.6, I'm just reading it wrong. Yeah, 0.6 chainmail. Whoop. And I just rolled it onto that and then applied it while 30 minutes after getting it and then applying it. Oh, Army Painter Plate Mail Metal. Plate Mail Metal. Jesus. It's a long name and it's annoying. But yeah, they'll have chainmail along those lines. Game Color Glorious Gold Army Painter Matte Black. I use this as a very matted, very desaturated gold, as I want to keep that Bloodbornian feel. I guess that's the kind of word I'm going to use. Is that a real word? I have no idea. If it is, hell yeah. If it isn't, well, makes sense. But yeah, I want this like dark saturated gold to go over all of it. And then I'll hit it with another dark tone wash to just kind of work it out. Army Painter Matte Black Citadel Base Dryad Bark. I use this for the dark leathers of the tabard. Now, I might come back and actually make these tabards white or paint them the heraldry of the chapter. I'm not too sure just yet. Either way, I can do it. This is kind of like temporary for now until I get an idea of what I want to do. Both are doable, but for now, it's just going to be Dryad Bark for now. Army Painter Matte Black. Game Color Scarlet Blood. I use this combination to make a checkerboard pattern, I guess. Well, more of a 2 squares, that's pretty much it. on each shoulder pad that will hold the heraldry. I'm still making decals to put on these models, so do bear with me until I can show you the chapter symbol, or the chapter markings, I guess. But yes, this is what it is. Model color white glaze. I use this as a base coat because I'm going to do the second half yellow. Yes, I know some people are going to say, oh, that's just Howling Griffins. Guess what? It's not. It's similar, but Howling Griffins are red and yellow on both these throughout the whole model. These are just shoulder pads. And then the other shoulder pads will probably get a chapter logo or just some markings. Chapter markings. Not chapter markings. Company markings. Using Army Painter Warlock Purple in like a glaze-esque feel. I use that to sort of add a transition line from white to pink. Am I good at this? No. Am I working on it? Yes. Will this be great use to learn how to do very basic freehand? Yes. It also helps me try and base out proportions. So if you ever want to do this, highly recommend doing just a bunch of bases. Shoulder pads. Game color moon yellow. I use this as the yellow. I have a nice vibrant color. Nothing too crazy, but I will darken everything down because right now they're really saturated. I want to take away the saturation. And how I'm going to do that is dark tone, because of course. Now, if you have enjoyed this video so far, and have enjoyed my yapping about the chapter, please consider liking and subscribing. Citadel Base Dryad Bark Model Color US Desert Armor. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like this, please consider liking, subscribing, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another video. And I hope to see you all in the next video. Let's continue on. Now, I do apologize that I can't keep this goddamn model on screen while I paint because it keeps focusing on my bloody hand. But what I'm doing is just going for that like pale-esque parchment and then using model color white glaze watered down heavily to sink into the recesses of all these bits and pieces so I can add a fluorescent color over the top to make it even nicer. Because surprisingly, fluorescence is not tricky to do if you ain't looking for amazing results. Because I wanted this to be very basic because I wanted to keep it simple for army building. Army Painter Matte Black, Game Color White Glaze, watered down white glaze specifically so I keep it nice and dark. And I put this over all the model's bases to simulate those bricks or like tiled or paved road. Or cobblestone. It depends. It really is an odd one because one, I like this cobblestone because again it reminds me of Bloodborne because a lot of the roads were brick. Model color will add model color white glaze to the previous mixture. Do lighten it up and add some differences in the brick. But still keep it dark as best you can so it doesn't take away too much away from the model. Because again, this whole thing is dark as can be. So it is very much so, be wary of what you do. Where you place things. Don't go too bright, otherwise you'll ruin the consistency. Game color, fluorescent orange. And I go over all the vents, all this, just this fluorescent orange to add the glow effect. Is it crazy? No, but does it work? Absolutely. If you ever just need a quick orange glow, or even just a glow in general, make this and then water it down just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. And you get some really nice textures and colors from it, because it is a vibrant paint as it is. Then using Game Color fluorescent blue all over the whites, and then wiping it away with my finger to keep all the glow on the inner to resemble an activated Power Fist. I like this inner glow, like the palm is glowing, like it's ready to go. To me, that's pretty damn cool. Then using Army Painter Plate Mail Metal, again, I dry brush the chainmail. That's a tongue twister. The chainmail to get that nicer, slightly shinier shine, like it's been hit, like the sun's hitting it a bit more, or like the light's hitting it a bit more. And that pretty much does it. Oh, that also goes for the chains as well. Yes. I haven't really come up with lore why they chain their pistols to their hands, but meh. Citadel-based Triad bark. I use this as a watered-down variant to seep into the cracks of the base and just to tint the dirt. Again, my goal is to make this as grimy, grimdark as possible. So a lot of this stuff you don't see, and then I'll come in with a water and wipe a lot of it off, so it falls into the recesses more. Citadel Technical, Blood for the Blood God. I use this in a dry brushy pattern to just bloody all the weapons. Every weapon gets blood. Sword blades get it the most, and then I'm going to do it on the Power Fist as well. So yes, that is a bloody fist. Yes, I get to say bloody because, oh yeah. So I hope you guys have enjoyed, and here are the results. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like this, please consider liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell so you never miss another video about the Knights of Camelot and my other things I do. I've done over 500 videos, so there's bound to be something you enjoy. If not, please leave a comment down below giving me some suggestions. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Good.